ready? Ready?
I'm born ready.
You got your notes ready?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. They're right here. These are my notes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I've got them ready.
I'm sure.
Did you see that hand scratch?
I did see the hand.
Can you read? Can you read any of that? Can you read any of that shit?
No, it's impressive that you have paper on your desk.
Oh yeah, no, I always have paper on my desk.
So, all right,
Old school.
let's get to it, man. We're welcome to the bar. So we've got a couple new sponsors we wanna talk about. We've got Candy Tech.
You know, we met them at ERE Recruiting Innovation Summit, and I don't know if you remember this, but they had a giveaway that was like a purple lanyard bit that you put on your phone. I brought that home to Michael, and she still has it. In fact,
I thought you were going to pull it out right now.
No, she is. Well, yeah, if you want me to whip it out, I'll whip it out. So, so she has requested. She's like, "Can you get like 5 more of these for my friends?" I'm like,
"All right, Talia, hook it up. We need 5 more lanyards."
It doesn't work like that. They're in Tel Aviv.
So we got. I'll pull it up now. We're gonna do this later, but we got our cool little wheel.
Oh
we're
yeah.
Gonna be doing. Can you hear that?
Oh, I like
hear that little sound effect. We're giving away some cash money, so stay tuned because you might actually, well, maybe not you, because if you didn't sign up,
got to sign up.
You got no luck here. So
not
we're gonna
pull cash money,
and they're all decent. They got like $100, $150 gift cards on there, so it'll be fun. We've got Fama's.
Do we have a winner?
Right?
Do we have a winner?
No, we're not pulling it yet. We're gonna do that a little bit later.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
so we got
good.
Fama's back in a new one today. SAP Sapphire. Welcome to the family, brother.
I've always wanted to attend that conference because it's Sapphire. It's SAP specific.
I just want a ring.
It's always been. Yeah. Did you saw Van's high school championship ring?
That thing was
dude. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't have those when I was. I mean, first of all, I didn't win a state championship, so.
But there's no sapphire on that ring.
No, there's no sapphire on that ring. No. You know, there's the first ring I bought, Michael, was a sapphire and diamond ring.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a test. It was a test. I had my mom go with me to Neiman's, and I bought it. I mean, it was like $600 or some shit like that. It wasn't a lot of money, but yeah, it's the first ring I bought her.
All right. She still have it?
Oh yeah.
She pawned it, didn't she?
I bought rings for both boys for the birth of both boys, and they have their Indian names engraved on them.
Yeah. Well, watch out for the owls. I learned something new today. If there is an owl, it is a witch for you.
That's not for Cherokees. That's not a good thing.
No, for me, we have an owl that's like it floats around in our back area, and I just listen to it. And we have a woodpecker too, and that does not stop.
Those can be. I was on a camp out, a Boy Scout camp out, and there was a woodpecker on the tree next to my tent, and this dude was like on meth.
It just keeps
like
going.
He was going.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, seriously, I'm
gonna hurt. Like, I mean, you know, I don't know. All right.
If you or the audience, if you ever get out to Tucson, if you ever find your own self in Tucson, which your daughter should go to the University of Tucson.
She's not. She's already accepted and she's done. Stop it. We're not looking at any more schools. Anyhow,
they have a hummingbird sanctuary where you go in and it's just hummingbirds around you. And it is the greatest thing because, they're just, they'll come right up to you and hang out with you.
Like they flutter their little things.
Sorry. Yeah. It is really, really cool.
Yeah. So you said one thing that threw me off. You said to the audience, you're assuming people are actually listening to us.
You got it. I mean, we at least have family and friends.
Yeah,
there's people. There's some people that hate listen to us.
Maybe I'll share it on Facebook. See if we get friends. So here's the deal. It's going to be different this week because you didn't do your homework. I'm gonna call you out on it because you would call me out.
You should, because you told me that I didn't have to prepare for this.
No. I said you don't have to do the research.
I mean, sorry. I should have followed up. That's fair. No. Hey,
all right.
If you dish it out, you should be able to take it.
That's right. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna read off. I got a bunch of stories. I'm gonna read them off. We'll rip through them because they're actually kind of important stories. I think this week I found some good ones that I've been following. One of them is UKG. Now this isn't big in and of itself, but UKG is they cut 950 jobs in their
That's
latest
legit.
restructuring round.
Yeah, that was a riff.
Yeah,
That should have happened 6 years ago.
yeah, and it's not a huge deal other than the fact that for me anyway. So UKG, for those who, I mean, y'all should know it at this point. Back in, was it 2020? They did
Yeah,
the
beginning of
merger
COVID,
Kronos and Ultimate.
$1.5 billion company with another $1.5 billion company becomes a $3 billion company.
$3 billion company, eighty
Ish.
thousand whatever customers, across the world. So they're PE backed. PE
Yep.
firms we know don't love bloated companies.
Right.
However, I feel like, and this is kind of, I heard your voice in my head as I'm reading the story, and I found that it was somebody was talking about on LinkedIn. It was a long thread, but I didn't think it was that bad, right? They have a long history of layoffs ever since the merger. They've laid off thousands of people.
Well, I mean, again, it's with Ultimate Software, you had a great place to work.
Yeah,
And with Kronos in Boston, you had a great place to work. So they brought two great places to work together. But you're going to have overlap. I
yeah,
mean, you have two analyst relations departments. You have two, sales teams, enterprise sales teams. I think what I loved, because I was at the Ultimate Software Connections analyst bit, and they all came in, they announced it to us. And I mean, it was in the beginning of COVID. This is February, and people are handing out hand sanitizer, which of course was useless. But what I loved about this bit, I remember the CEO of Kronos, Aaron, getting in front of all of us and just basically saying, we don't have all the strategy baked out yet, because what we've learned is if we just sell to each other's customers, we'll make money.
right.
And again, going through that overlap, selling to each other's customers, and you're gonna have layoffs. Like this isn't an AI taking jobs thing.
No, they've been doing this historically, and look, you have two companies come together. There's going to be repetitive and
Happens. Yeah,
opportunities, but
yeah.
you know. So anyway, so I didn't think it was that big of a thing, but I it did make me think though when one I don't know who would be able to acquire these guys, right? I mean,
Oh
they're
no,
at
they're
the
gonna go
point of
public.
being too big.
No, they're gonna go public.
Yeah, and this is
The
a
PE
step
firm will
for
take them public again when the market is.
yeah, and that was my initial thought was, is this a move to set them up for the next event, which in my opinion would be an IPO.
Yeah, they gotta go for them. Everybody to get right with their money. They gotta go public.
Yeah, yeah. So there's another one I want to talk to you about this one. So we have Amazon. Amazon,
Yeah,
right? Have you seen this? Well, we know
yeah.
Amazon.
Creating a recruiting solution.
Yeah, yeah. What's it called? Connect
Yeah,
Talent, right? So
I don't.
Connect Talent. Um, dude, I love this. I haven't seen it, but I love it just by name and just by what I'm reading on it. So if you're able to demo
I
Connect
think
Talent, call me.
I think Charney did a demo this week, so we can reach out to Matt. He posted that he was going to do a demo with it. I think what I like about it is because they have such a strong consumer brand. You already have candidates
Mhm.
because you have people that prime customers, so you have access to people, a lot of people. And you have people watching videos. You know a lot about these people now. Whether or not they activate that knowledge or not, I'm not sure. But you have access to them.
Yeah. Who knows if they even can? But I love the fact that I mean we've seen Google try this, we've seen others try it. These are the ones that actually I think can actually pull it off.
Google researched uh, for 3, almost 4 years before they went out with Google for Jobs.
Yeah.
That
For
bit,
that.
and it didn't go well. But it wasn't for the lack of research. They tried. They had smart people really digging in and doing all that stuff, and it just didn't work. What Amazon is doing differently reminds me of what IKEA did in Australia, where they put job ads into the boxes.
Mm.
So into the instructions. So you get your box, you know, your
Mm-hmm.
shelving unit.
Mm-hmm.
You get home and you get the instructions out. They'd have job ads in there written in the instruction format. And so like that's just brilliant.
Which
Like,
is why no
you
one
know,
applied because no one reads instructions.
I forced myself the last time I went to IKEA to, I think I bought chairs. Yeah, it was chairs or tables. I can't remember. I forced myself to read the instructions because I didn't want to have extra shit laying over. So I forced myself. You know that commercial that's on TV right now where the
Even if I
guy does the.
read instructions, I've got shit left over.
I I held Henry helped me actually, and I had him take me through it. I'm like, okay, take me. What do I do with this chair?
Take me
He's
through
like,
it. Take me
okay,
through it.
take me
Yeah.
through this bit. And so I had someone because I won't read them. So I had
Yeah.
someone else. I had a proxy
Yeah.
that forced me to do the instructions.
So I wanna let me go a little deeper on the Amazon Connect. So from what I'm seeing, and I want to see this because I'm actually excited for this one. So for recruiters, the AI agents automatically build and run competency-based interview and assessments. They get the
Yeah,
full transcripts, the scoring logic, the notes,
right.
the audit, all that stuff.
Standardize the interviews,
It
all that
it
stuff.
it
Yeah,
does it immediately for them, right? There's no work that they actually need to do. And obviously on the candidate side, it just opens stuff up. They can do whatever they need to do and interview whenever they want, which I think we're seeing with a lot of these tools now. They can do stuff on their own time.
I think that's you're setting yourself up for success, even in an employer-driven market, by allowing candidates to do things when they want to do them. I think it's just smart. I think it's more of the movement of just letting candidates be candidates, and instead of forcing them into some rigorous thingamabob and structure and process and technology and stuff like that. Let candidates do it on their own time. If they want to do it on their phone, let them do it on their phone.
Yeah, yeah,
Why do
yeah.
we care?
So, all right. So,
I think it's good. I don't know, to your point, how much data they can access on the consumer side,
yeah,
but they know a lot about you,
yeah. Oh, yeah. They know a
which
lot about.
would
I
be
mean,
cool if they could pull some of that stuff, like the last rod you bought or the last, whatever the bit was. Like,
mhm.
you're a habitual returner.
I
Like if they
I
knew
am.
that about you
Which can we just talk about their return policy right now?
and making it hard on you, brother.
21 clicks. Let me just tell you how I know that because I counted them yesterday. 21 clicks from the time you
making it
say
making it hard on a brother.
from the time you say I want to return something until
Yeah.
you actually select your location. 21 clicks.
I thought of you last night. It was really, yeah, it was in the afternoon, but I finished it in the evening. Is I finally, and you'll know this pain, I finally went through my GoDaddy account and got rid of all the domains. I was harsh.
Wow.
All these domains that I've kept since,
You took them
1999,
off auto renew?
I took them off auto renew. Now here's the deal. GoDaddy doesn't make it easy for you to select multiple domains. You have to go into each domain and hit cancel 3 different times to finally get it to and you have to give them a reason
Yeah.
and all that stuff. I made a game out of it, and I picked all the different, even though they reshuffle them, I picked all the different reasons because I was just like, I'm not going to give you the reason. The reason is it's too expensive, and I'm not doing anything with it, and I haven't done anything with it for 20 something years.
Yeah. You've
So
invested
you know
all this
what?
money. You could have been a millionaire.
If someone else wants to Clear Channel Park or Connected Cities, if someone else wants to do something with it,
Yeah.
Godspeed.
There's a couple that are in there that are I don't want to say sentimental,
I mean, they are sentimental.
but I really
They are.
like
I kept the 5-letter domains,
yeah.
the 5-letter.com domains. I kept those, and I kept anything Tin Cup related. So Studio Tin Cup, which was what my wife's company's name, and all my son's names and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I kept all of
Well,
those. That's it.
good luck with that.
28 domains.
Oh, there you go. You're
28
gonna
times $22.
consider it a pay raise. All right, look, Greenhouse. Let's talk about Greenhouse. They acquired Ezra. AI labs for voice first, for voice first interviewing, right? So let's talk about this one because I was watching an interview, might have been with George
Yeah,
LaRock at
yeah,
Work
yeah.
Tech with Daniel.
Daniel has a good, really, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so Greenhouse had said Greenhouse. I say Daniel. So the applications per recruiter has spiked 412% since 2023. That's insane. It's because we're using, let's say, where they are using AI tools to build and
Right,
blast their resume and customize
right,
resumes for all this stuff.
right.
So what I
As
what
they
I
should.
what I love about this though is this leverages AI to go through and do all of the stuff that they're doing before it ever gets to a recruiter. You're fighting fire with fire. Not that that's kind of the sentiment
It's A-
behind it.
it's AI versus AI
Yeah, yeah,
on some level.
yeah,
It's a battle that's being waged above us
yeah.
for us. So yeah, I think, to me, I think, you and I were playing around with Claude, the tool, yesterday, not the person. We just don't want to, get into trouble there. Um, and it's like, they have that tab for code, and it's like, you download the Git software, you create a GitHub account, and then all of a sudden you just talk, and it then does the hard part of coding behind you.
Mm-hmm.
That that's cool. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool as an interface to think of what can be done on the recruiting side for recruiters, hiring managers, and candidates. What can be done with voice as an interface,
Yeah.
I think is actually really cool. So I think it was a great pickup.
Yeah.
I don't
I love
I
it.
don't think they were in the market for a pickup, but I think it was a great pickup.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love the fact that they recognize the pain in the space, and hopefully this helps clean that up for their customers. I think that's a great opportunity. Yeah. All right. So Lumaps. They have
Yeah, do tell.
what's that?
Do tell.
Do tell. They have acquired a company called, I'm going to mispronounce it, Comen,
That got awkward
Comeen,
quick.
something like that.
Cumin.
So
Isn't that a spice? Cumin?
Cumin, yeah. So I was gonna have the Dallas Cowboys, or the Eagles fight song ready. I could probably hold on. Let me just pause it real quick and
You need a
see
cleaner version
if
of the fight
if
song,
I can
because this one,
find. Can
the
you hear
one we
that?
have, no, I can't.
Oh, you can't hear? I
I can't.
yeah. It's the fight song.
It's
It's the Eagles fight song. It's playing.
it's it's too loud, and it's too not clear. Like, we need a clear version.
What, the Eagles song?
Yeah.
Nah, it's good. It's good. It's good. When you hear 80,000
says
fans screaming it down your throat.
says says an Eagles apologist. Yes, of course it's good to you.
Go Birds.
But
So all right. So Lumaps, which
Cumin.
yeah, Cumin, which we know, right? So they own the digital workspace, like internal comms workflows. Basically, they tout themselves as an AI employee hub, right? Employee experience platform, the internet or intranet. Um,
Did you say intranet?
Intranet, yeah, social intranet.
Do you remember? Do you remember going to intranets and like having to do stuff in
Yeah,
intranets?
yeah. Some companies are still doing that.
Oh
So,
yeah, they use
so
SharePoint. Yeah, yeah.
Komen, if I'm
Cumin.
mispronouncing his name, I apologize. But
You're
anyway,
just not going to say cumin.
they own the physical space in the office, or like space management, digital signage, visitor management type stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So
They
that's
make you
the
sign into the security log.
sign into the
Yeah,
security log.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Good for
yeah.
them. That's a good pickup.
People still going to the office, I guess.
More and more.
Yeah.
More and more. I actually saw, this is on social, but I saw a job posting where they put it as remote, but down at the bottom of it, we put remote for visibility, but this is actually a job where you have to go into the office.
Huh.
And they
Remote for
stated that.
visibility.
And they stated that because it gets more visibility in the
I love
job
that.
boards.
I love that.
But they stated it buried down below. They stated it for the record. It's like, Actually, it's not a
Yeah,
remote. You
we're
have to
just
go into the
playing games
office.
here. Yeah, a lot of
But we
Facebook
want
groups that I'm part of, especially like in the fishing groups, they'll put this boat up or the fish up, and it has nothing like pick for attention. Like, just ask your goddamn question. Stop with this pick for attention stuff. All right, we have we have
that's so great.
yeah. So before we get too lost, let's break
Okay,
out the wheel.
bring
You
it.
want to do it? Let's do it. Let me reach
Yeah.
over and grab this thing.
I'm actually really excited about the wheel.
Yeah, me too. So I
Didn't
don't
you get a
know.
smaller
You
one
guys
to
can't
start
really
with?
see it. It's what's that?
Didn't you get a smaller one
No, this is
to
small.
begin with?
It's
This is a
only eight
small,
inches. This is small.
but yeah, okay, there's a bigger one.
No, not a bit. I mean, if I put it closer to the camera, it'll get bigger.
Like you've
All
heard
right.
this before,
So
right?
so
This is the first time we've done this road.
this is the candy wheel, right? I keep saying candy, but it's candy wheel, right? So Canditech, right? So let's talk about these guys for a sec. So they are brand new to the family,
Yes.
and we love these guys. I absolutely love work with them. They're based in Tel Aviv, where a lot of
Yeah.
companies are based. A lot of companies,
Tons,
yeah, a
tons,
lot of big tech out there.
tons of great tech.
Yeah, yeah, and they're all doing well, which is great. So let's do it. I'm gonna spin the wheel. I'm gonna put it by the microphone, try to get some.
You and I talked to somebody the other day. She's Scottish, and Jewish as well, and to deal with air raids,
Yeah,
like
Mhm.
to hear a horn and go,
gotta go.
probably good. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably need to go in the bunker.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Don't want to imagine. Can't imagine. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's spin the wheel.
All right, let's
These
spin
good
the wheel.
folks.
So here's what we'll do. Twice a month, we're gonna spin this wheel.
Apple gift card.
Yeah,
Choice.
so they're all gift cards. Yeah, so actually we're gonna change it up a bit because what we're gonna do is allow them to pick their own gift cards. So sign up if you haven't. If you're watching, you want to know how do I get a $150 gift card? Just sign
Where do
up.
they sign up? Where do they sign up?
At a link somewhere. No, there'll be a link in the notes. Just go to Work to Find. Just go to the
Did you say
website
link somewhere?
/Canditech. It's CANDITECH. So we'll put it in the notes, and we'll email a bunch of people.
I've always wanted to say candidate tech.
Candidate
is
and
Canditech.
Candy. Here we go. Ready? I'm gonna spin it.
All right,
Can you hear that?
I'm looking. I can.
That's a sexy spin right there. Let's
That
see.
sounds like a fart.
Let's see. I'm gonna cheat.
Is it a choice?
50.
it's kinda on the line.
Still spinning. Hold on. If it lands on the line, should we respin it?
I think you're just moving it with your
I'm
hand.
moving it in my hand. $50. So it landed on the $50.
I like the one
choice.
to the left.
You like
but
the
yeah,
one to the left?
Yeah.
This one?
The
100?
yellow one. Yeah.
All right. So since it's our first spin, let's do another one. We'll take the best of. Let's do that. Best of.
Nah.
No,
man.
we can't do that. All right. Best
You
of three.
can't.
Here we go.
$25. Come
One
on.
more, one
$25.
more.
You
First
can't do.
spin,
You
it's
can't
gotta be
buy
a big-
anything for 20.
It's gotta be a biggie.
There you go.
Boom.
Now we're talking,
150.
baby.
All right.
Now
150.
you can do something with that. 6'7".
6'7".
You can
Yeah.
do
All right,
you
we
can
gotta-
do
we gotta-
something with it.
We need to visualize. We need to because we're spinning the wheel here. Simone
$150.
Bolton, the winner.
Simone Bolton.
Bolton. She is the
Who does
talent
she work with?
acquisition manager for
Okay.
Custom Inc.
Oh, I know Custom Ink. Okay, cool.
Yes.
That's a good
So,
brand.
She's
Good
in
for her.
Virginia. So here's what I'm gonna say. Simone, you cannot get your gift card unless we get a 97% discount on our next order.
Well, that might be a bit much.
I
There
mean,
might be an employee discount.
all
but,
right, 95.
I like that. I like that brand. That's a
95.
cool.
We'll go
That's a
95.
cool brand.
All right,
I'm a
so
member
Simone
of
Bolton,
Jamestown Society, so I love Virginians.
congratulations. You are the first winner on the Candy Tech wheel. That is amazing.
Bring it.
Let's bring Nick in. We're going to talk some research. Nick is with Canditech, and let's do it. All right, Nick, we're going to talk some research, but you'll notice, the audience will notice, we are missing another guy with a lot of hair, and that's William. And that's because you and William just don't see eye to eye on anything.
I must have said something that upset him. He just walked out the room a second later.
He's like, I'm out of here. I'm gone. Screw this. No,
Well, next time.
it's gonna be me and you, and we're just gonna talk research. You and me, we're gonna do this thing because you guys at Canditech have put together some research on skills assessment and candidate feedback on that through 2026, and you've done something like it's like 80,000 or something like that candidates that went. So first off, let's introduce yourself. I'm gonna just talk forever because I love what you guys are doing. Introduce yourself to the audience, and then we'll jump right into this.
All right. Well, firstly, I'm Nick. I'm the director of customer success at Candy Tech. So primarily, I'm responsible for making sure that all of our customers get value from their partnership with us. I've been in TA and hiring for about 16 years. I've spent about 6 years in HR tech, 10 years before that in as a recruiter myself. So really focused on top of funnel hiring challenges throughout my whole career.
Tell us about the research. What do you guys have going on?
Awesome. So we think often about how candidates are experiencing the hiring process right now. And we've gone ahead and we've surveyed over 80,000 candidates, and we found some really interesting insights. And there's two specific insights I want to bring to this conversation. But before that, I think it's helpful to just explain a bit more about the current environment that we're in, because hiring has shifted a lot. Right now, we are in a very different space than we were even 12 months ago, definitely 2 years ago, largely driven by AI. As you know, it's changing everything in amazing ways, by the way. I'm a huge AI fan, but for top of funnel hiring, it's definitely created some unique challenges. Mainly being that candidates now all have access to these tools where they can bespoke, customize their applications to any role in the click of a button to hundreds at a time. So they can fire out these tailored resumes, at mass, which presents a lot of challenges, firstly, for recruiters. When I speak to TA teams, which is basically what I do all day long, they're talking about how much volume they're drowning in and the admin behind sifting, screening.
Right.
And because they're all using the same tools, it's almost impossible to identify who are the right candidates to prioritize and get into the process. But when you flip it and you think about it from a candidate's perspective, they are now in an environment where they are just one of hundreds of people who are applying to roles. And it's very difficult for them to stand out and to show the abilities that they have. And if you look at I don't know how much time, you'll find out a lot about me and what I do in my spare time, but I spend a lot of time
You're just going to talk
scrolling.
forever. It's all good.
No, I just scroll through recruiting hell on Reddit a lot. I just find it really interesting to understand how candidates are experiencing hiring at the moment. And one of the major or most common grievances you hear from candidates is that they apply to roles, they hear nothing, a couple weeks later they get auto rejected, and they just don't know why. There's no data point, there's no feedback on how they can be better. And this is not me saying that every company should now be providing personalized feedback to every application. It's just not possible. But from a candidate's perspective, it becomes very difficult to understand what's going on.
But
So
you got to give them something.
just or if not something, maybe a different way about evaluating if they're the right fit than just their resume alone. Because a resume, it tells you their history, but it doesn't really tell you, it can't tell you what they can do in their ability. So what was really interesting in our research, we found two interesting stats. One is that 89% of candidates told us they prefer a process that includes a skills assessment rather than just CV screening, which is super interesting. So candidates would rather do the extra work to showcase their ability and be judged based on that rather than just their resume. And if you think about it from a candidate's perspective, if you go through an assessment and then you don't make it, at least you know, hey, I just didn't have the skills for that role,
Right.
rather than this abstract, I'm not really sure, maybe if I formatted my resume slightly differently, or if I use this language instead of that, or this
Mhm.
keyword, that keyword, So that was the first interesting insight in the research I thought I'd bring to the conversation today.
It's interesting. I'm looking at some of the work here that you guys talked about. So I'm looking at some of the stats. Yeah, 89% preferred the hiring process with skills assessment, but 95% prefer assessments tied to real world job scenarios. So talk about that a bit. I can remember, I can remember years and years ago. This is before we had, the type of platforms that we have today. Um, we would be asked scenario based or situational based questions, and that would kind of be your assessment. It's
Yeah.
not. We're not talking about that.
Not really. Maybe in certain instances, if that's the right way to evaluate a sudden skill. But yeah, so that is the second really interesting insight that you've called out, that 95% number. So I think when you use the phrase job simulation, some people don't fully, there was a conversation in our office earlier. Obviously, we were joking around, but I think some people might think that we create these sets and these environments to
Yeah.
simulate an office, and someone comes in and something happens. At its essence, a job simulation is mimicking tasks that someone would perform if they were in the role. So, for example, you'd ask a developer to maybe debug a coding issue, or you might ask a marketing or a content person to go and write some content, or someone who's in finance to go jump into a spreadsheet and solve a finance issue or reconcile some accounts. So it's very job specific tasks that relate to that role, and these should be the sort of tasks that candidates who are applying to your roles are very comfortable with because they're doing them on a daily basis. This is their skill set. So when you allow candidates to take a job simulation, you're seeing their ability. And what's really interesting when we look at, this isn't part of the study, but it's just interesting to talk about, is when you look at who companies end up hiring once they've taken candidates through job simulations, it's very often someone who on paper they probably wouldn't have considered because of some criteria like must have 3 years experience with X tool. Who's to say having 2.5 years experience or 3 years experience is largely different. Some people might just be able to pick things up slightly quicker. But yeah, to go back, fundamentally, a job simulation just means giving someone a task. In some scenarios, to your point earlier, that could be some scenarios, but it could be a scenario. Because what you might find is if you're hiring an AE, for example, they are coming into lots of different scenarios and you want to understand how they would behave in each. For example, you might have a sound clip of a customer objection. Hey,
Right.
record a video of yourself responding to this. How would you deal with that? Or talk to us about what you would happen if 50% of your pipeline fell through and now you have 2 months to rebuild before the end of the quarter. Now jump into a spreadsheet and create your weighted forecast based on that. Or go and do your prospecting using ChatGPT and show us how you utilize AI. So it could be a scenario, but often it's a mix of scenarios plus real world tasks that candidates would be doing if they were in the role.
Couple years back, it's probably 2 years now. We were at an event and they were doing virtual reality. And so, which is I know different than what you guys are into, but we had the headsets on, and I think my scenario was I walked in, or I was sitting at a desk, and I was being interviewed for it was a customer service role, I think it was, and I did two things. One was customer service role, and they asked me a bunch of questions, and I actually had to go through. It was a little weird. Not gonna lie, it was weird, but it was actually pretty good. And then the second was it was a grocery store checker. And so I had to like check all these items at the grocery store. But I always thought like at that point, like, okay, that's a real good way to assess skills. Like I enjoyed that. So as you guys went through this study, this research, which is all within your system, which is awesome in and of itself, did anything stick out as being like, wow, I didn't really think about that?
Yeah, I think two things. I think firstly, it's worth calling out, as you mentioned. So how this study was formed is when candidates take an assessment in CandyTech, they're instantly then given the option to take a survey straight after. So we're capturing this feedback at the point they've just experienced going through an assessment. And I think what's interesting is you would think that candidates don't want to do the extra work. They don't want to spend 30 minutes, 20 minutes doing an assessment, answering questions. They would rather just apply, have someone phone them, have some conversations. But actually, that is not the case. And what's interesting is sometimes you'll work with companies and there'll be some friction because they are concerned that candidates don't want to go through assessments. But actually, the data suggests the complete opposite. Candidates want to do this. And I think fundamentally, when you allow candidates to just showcase their ability, it becomes much more of a meritocracy. So if you're thinking about things like being bias free and being fair and inclusive, is another route to do that. Now, I still think that resumes hold value. I think, for example, you wouldn't hire, no matter how well they did in an assessment, you wouldn't hire a junior intern to go and lead Apple as the next CEO, right? So I think experience matters because, you want to make sure that people have dealt with situations and they've got the ability to navigate through certain environments. But it's very difficult to say just because someone's worked at this type of company they'll be great at this type of company in the future.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But when you then allow people to do these assessments, it becomes a bit more of a bias-free, a higher trust signal. Probably a better way to put it. But yeah, the number one takeaway was this is what candidates want, especially right now. They want to be able to showcase their ability, and then if they make it, amazing, and if they don't, they've at least got a signal as to why not.
Yeah, they've got a baseline as, okay, I can make assumptions. Okay, I just wasn't good at this. Now they may want more information than that, but at least they have something. I can remember, I mean, I was not a fan of assessments. This is years and years ago. We were doing assessments over the phone.
Yeah.
I would get a call, or we would call, worked at a company where we did assessments. We had a group of IO psychiatrists, and we would actually call people and go through a 30 or 40-minute assessment on the phone, and they'd put all that into some form of a, calculation and assessment and come up with an answer. And that was it. It was the most grueling, kind of annoying thing you could ever do. I mean, obviously, you're not doing that. At least I hope not doing that anymore.
No, happily and proudly say we are not. We are not doing that.
No, you're good. So, all right, man. So this is good. I love what you guys are doing. We will put the link for the for the research in the show notes here, because believe it or not, research as part of the BARF is actually one of the most viewed portions of what we do. Turns out people like research. They don't love white papers, but they do like research, and they do like things that actually mean something to them. And look, you guys you're doing this right inside the system. And I think that's even more impressive. And when you said that, I kind of thought, no, you're not obviously taking pulse surveys in a bathroom. But I'm sure you've seen them. When you walk out of a bathroom, you got the red, the yellow, and the green button, and you hit. And I always, I don't know, I look forward to that. I don't want to touch it, because I'm like, so many people just came out of the bathroom. Yeah. But I do paper towel, and I do, because I'm like, it's actually good feedback for them, and maybe next time I come in, it'll be just a little better. So maybe we'll get her on and get to talk with her as well. So awesome, Nick. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I'm sorry you didn't get to battle with William.
Tell him to phone me so we can hash it out, whatever's gone wrong.
We'll do that next time, brother. I appreciate you jumping on. Thank you all for listening. Check out the links below. Sign up at the link below in the show notes. Get some free gear, some free money, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time.